0.7% from the floor. That's the best they've shot in any game this year, and the best any Knicks opponent has shot against the Knicks all year.
Yeah, and you know, that first quarter, the Knicks starters did all they could to keep pace with this team and the way they play. And this is a tale of teams that are in two different places. The Knicks want to get where Phoenix is right now. Phoenix is coming off getting to the NBA Finals, really believing in themselves, have a deep team, have a great leader in Chris Paul, and have a superstar in Devin Booker. The Knicks are still trying to build a team like this. They have the bench part, right, but the rest of it still has to be built. So this was a tough one. They are playing just lights-out basketball. They're killing everybody in the league right now. And the Knicks stayed with them for about a quarter and a half. And then at that 6-minute mark of the second quarter, it was lights out.
The dreaded drought, it rears its ugly head. And so you're outscored in the second period, 24-17, which in and of itself is not terrible. But then you come into that third quarter and the drought continues. And this is a team that if you cannot keep pace with them, you are just out of luck, which was why my matchup to watch was Evan Fournier and Devin Booker, because Fournier has shown...
You give yourself some credit for that matchup?
Okay, listen, we got to find silver linings in a game like this. This is going to be one of them. Thank you very much. But Fournier has shown the ability to hit some shots. Now, tonight doesn't necessarily hold, but overall, there was no rhythm. It was a very drastic contrast, Han.
Ran only eight shot attempts for
yeah, and you contrast it with the struggle, the pace, the no rhythm versus a team like the Suns that is just completely fluid and could get any basket that they wanted.
Your point, the Knicks with a season-low 13 assists.
Yeah.
And how easy, Alan, does Devin Booker make it look?
Well, you know what? It's Chris Paul makes it look easy for him. I thought Chris Paul, look, I said this at halftime when I noticed that Devin Booker took 17 shots in the first half. And something he said this morning was interesting when they were asking, because, again, Phoenix on the road for Thanksgiving. And he said, you know what, I laid off the wine last night because giving that up is nothing compared to what we're about to do tonight. And I listened to that and I thought, you know what, Booker loves to play at the Garden. Is he going to go for 50? Well, he had 21 at the half, put up 17 shots, and then went for 11 in the third quarter. And if this thing wasn't a blowout, perhaps he gets there. And Chris Paul was not looking to shoot. Chris Paul was looking to get Devin Booker easy baskets. And so it felt like this was a game where Devin Booker wanted to etch his name into Garden history by putting up a 50-point game. Certainly going for it. He makes it look so easy, and it's amazing to think that there are times where he's left wide open, and you wonder how.
Yeah. If you find anybody on the floor,
yes,
find that guy, right? Now, this is a moment perhaps where the Knicks should thank the schedule, folks, although the Knicks have a back-to-back. The Suns play the Nets tomorrow, and so perhaps that stymied, thank you, a little bit of Book's time on the floor because they have a big matchup tomorrow, obviously.
Yeah, we'll see if that streak holds up.
All right, one of the positives for the Knicks as it continues here to continue, Monica, is Emmanuel Quickly. He went for 16 over his last 10 games. He's averaging 12.5 points a game.
He's making the most out of every opportunity that he gets on the floor. And that's what you need from your young guys, right? Like, while he clearly can feel the difference of last year's playoff intensity and winning games and what you saw tonight, in terms of him continuing to earn trust from not just only Coach Tom Thibodeau, but from his teammates, right? I'm going to step on the floor and compete every time I'm out here, no matter what the score is. And his ability to kind of get off the bounce, get inside defenders, and find ways to create his shot is going to be so important for this team moving forward. But I actually thought him defensively, too, was just as important.
Yeah. The defense for him, we don't talk about nearly enough. He's got a big wingspan. He's getting smarter and smarter the more he watches film. And we know he certainly loves to consume as much game film as he can. That's why Tom Thibodeau likes him. That's why he trusts him as well. But this is now 4 straight games that Quick has gotten into double figures. 7 of the last 9. We're forgetting that he struggled with his shooting to start the season, that he couldn't make a runner, the threes weren't going down. And some people were wondering, why is Tibbs sticking with him? This is why. Because, as he says, the magic is in the work, and no one works harder than this kid. So you have that, and that is something, again, you want to continue to build. Your bench is a strength, and he is one of those pieces. Remember, no Derrick Rose yet. Somebody's had to emerge. While Rose has been out, it's been Emmanuel Quickly who has done it.
The last 2 games in particular without Rose. And listen, long season, just under 20 games in. But if Derrick Rose and Kemba's knees are well documented, right? And so for Quick to continue to earn the trust of his teammates in moments like this, or just in any opportunity that he gets, is going to be paramount, because it would not be extremely unusual if some kind of way down the stretch this guy is inserted into the starting lineup, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's what he's working for.
Right.
Alan mentioned Randall tonight only took 8 shots. How about the struggles of R.J. Barrett, 3 for 10? And you mentioned your matchup. You talked about Booker, but Evan Fournier only 4 out of 15 after he was so good against the Lakers.
And he had it going early. You know, it looked like Fournier was answering a lot of shots in that first quarter. Like I said, the first quarter was interesting. I was floor level watching that first quarter. I really wanted to see how the Knicks starters would come out in this game after a good start against the Lakers. And it was another good start. Ball moved. They were answering shots. The Knicks, in fact, had a lead at one point in that first quarter. It was back and forth. And I thought, okay, the starters did a good job here. The bench will do their job, as we expect, against one of the other very good benches in the league. This should be a really good game. So, but Fournier just, when he comes back in the game, got beat a couple of times down the floor. And that defense, you can't afford to give up easy baskets. But if you do, you better make them. And he stopped making shots. The water turned off Evan Fournier. And you saw Tom Thibodeau quickly send him to the bench.
This is why I am begging, pleading for the Knicks to find ways to get easy baskets. Because what happens with easy baskets, it's a double whammy. Not only do you add to the scoreboard, right, for this case, the Suns, but it is it takes a toll on the team that gave up that easy basket, because it's a duh moment, right? So then you're looking at each other as teammates. And so if you're not mature and poised enough to regroup, those become little paper cuts in terms of a bigger run. And so easy baskets are something that good teams are very good at finding.
Well, the Suns, how about the Suns with the easy basket?
Let me go back to again.
But everything looked easy for them.
Well, but again, I have to go back to saying, we said it in the pregame, Chris Paul is he's a floor general, like the old school way. We don't see point guards like this anymore, that organize an offense, that know who's open, who's got the matchup. He's a quarterback, and that's special. And then you have off the bench Cameron Payne, who's learning from him and becoming like that as well. They move the ball well because they have really smart facilitators who run the offense. The Knicks don't have that. So, they're trying to find that.
In addition to Chris Paul, though, his roles are very defined for this Sun squad. D Book is our go-to guy. When Ayton rolls hard, we know what he's going to do, and everybody else fills it in. There's no questions about roles with that group.
To your point about Chris Paul, took only 6 shots, still finished with 14 points and 10 assists at 36. He leads the league in assists per game at over 10 a game. Got that tonight. All right, when we come back, we will listen in to Tom Thibodeau as his Knicks lose and drop to 10-9. And